路线方向错越努力越糟糕. Wrong route direction. The harder you strive, the worse it gets. Xiefeng. August 29th, 2023. Translation edited by Qin Yu. This morning, I watched a short video where a 39-year-old woman relayed advice to women aged 24 to 30. She regretted missing the optimal time for marriage, and now, at 39, finding an ideal partner seems increasingly difficult. She cautioned young women to find a partner and marry within that age range to avoid a lifetime of regret and remorse. This 39-year-old woman made a directional error. When she advised young women to find partners and get married early, she overlooked a harsh reality. Even if one marries on time, what follows marriage? Thousands of years of tragedies, both past and present, from all around the world, have already told us that following the path of marriage and starting a family will inevitably lead to a tragic life. Entering into marriage early, starting a family, having children, acquiring houses and cars, raising kids, managing various relationships, worrying about your children's future marriages, and then taking care of grandchildren. All the while, conflicts between spouses may arise from emotions, differing viewpoints, and the handling of relationships with relatives and friends. Reflecting on these matters can be overwhelming, not to mention advising others to step into the prison of marriage and family, which is simply foolish. Marriage and family have caused life tragedies too numerous to count. Consider the pressures faced by those burdened with mortgage and car payments in recent years, the various levels of officials brought down due to corruption, the psychological stresses and spiritual depressions experienced by children unable to find jobs, the high divorce rates arising from differing values between spouses, and the desperate emotional scars that result. Advising other young women to marry and start a family early, isn't this a directional error? Heavenly life has already been born on this earth. Not thinking of moving towards heaven but wanting to follow in the footsteps of predecessors, is not this a directional mistake? When the route and direction are wrong, the more effort you put in, the worse it becomes. Are those who are currently unable to repay their mortgages because they strive to buy a house making a wrong choice? If they hadn't worked hard then, they wouldn't have bought a house, and without a house, they wouldn't have the current pressure of repayment. Is it the harder you try, the worse it gets? Many individuals engaged in industry find themselves not only bankrupt but also burdened with debt. Could it be that their relentless efforts have not brought them happiness, but instead led them into a quagmire? Those who cunningly maneuvered their way into government positions, driven by a zealous pursuit of corruption, now face exposure and the loss of everything. Reflecting on their past endeavors, they might question whether their strenuous efforts contributed to their descent into the quagmire. Had they not exerted themselves so intensely back then, could they now be enjoying a peaceful and stable life? From a country and nation to a small shop or individual, if the direction and route of your efforts are misguided, the more you strive, the worse it becomes. Where are you directing your efforts at this very moment?